Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from our comfy couch here on the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon review for February 19th, 2019, with your hosts, Beastmaker2448 and Rampant Epsilon.
Hi.
This movie sucks. just gonna put that on the table up front here, folks. This movie sucks. It sucks. It is the worst writer movie ever.
I can't argue.
Unless somehow, some magical way, Heisei Generations Forever is worse with its meta bullshit nonsense. This is the bottom. That nothing goes lower than here.
And I feel like the biggest issue boils down to the whole Heisei versus Showa kind of concept that's there.
That's fucking nonsense.
Because I feel like if you took that out, the movie could work.
Unfortunately, that's 3/4 of the runtime of this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Including the technically final fight.
Oh, you mean the final fight that got voted on by fans? Because there's two endings to this movie.
The final fight that can go jump in that ocean. Oh my god.
The flower. I want to let you know that I think when this movie came out, I was on Token Nation's forums, and people were defending the flower, trying to explain the context of the flower. Here's the problem.
I get the symbolic idea, but why did it have to be a flower?
Better yet, why does Kota defend the flower to start with?
Yeah.
Nothing about his character would defend a fucking flower.
Like I said, I get the concept of it. Willing to throw your life on the line for anything. But a flower? Do you know how many they've done destroyed at this point?
You know how much collateral damage these dipshits have caused with their stupid plan? You see, the flower has no basis in the context of the movie. None. So it's pointless. It can symbolize whatever the fuck Narutaki says it can symbolize, but it's meaningless because it has no grounding in the movie at any other point in time.
To be fair, if you had removed the flower and put Narutaki there, sure, because he was at least willing to save someone's life by sacrificing his. Sure, I might could see that working then. Honestly, if that was the case, that would probably have some people wondering why Kota didn't just move anyhow, but
I was about to say, why would we want Kota defending this fucking internet troll? No.
Well, he's the only one in ear range of this, so sure.
Very true. But for reference, folks, this week we're reviewing the final part of this trilogy of terrible fucking writer movies we've been watching these last 3 weeks. Heisei writer versus Showa writer, Kamen writer Taisen, featuring Super Sentai. Can't forget that part.
Yeah, because to be fair, it could be non-existent and still work too.
May I remind folks that there is an episode of Gaim dedicated entirely to being a lead-in to this bullshit movie where 90% of what happened in that episode is never referenced in this movie ever again. And it actually features a proper team up of Kota and the Tokyugers. We're not talking about that special, by the way, folks.
I forgot about that, actually.
Yeah, there is. Nothing that happens in that special matters, by the way. Because I kind of remember that special, and I'm like, the only important thing with that special was that Kota tried to, get the Tokyugers to take Mai away from Zawami City so that she wouldn't get caught up in all of the bullshit going on, and that didn't work. And I think Kota and Wright got kidnapped by the Badan Empire, and the other Gaim riders plus the Tokyugers had to go save them. And I think that's the entire plot of the special. I
don't think they even remotely referenced anything.
No. Tokyugers don't even say hi to Kota.
Yeah, I was going to say, including the fact that they even know each other.
Yeah. You just make it say hi to Ichigo, and then they're off to the back fight, because somebody has to fight the D-Rex over there. But this movie came out March the 29th, 2014 in theaters. It was written once more by Shoji Onomura. See, this is why people don't like him. Because he writes this bullshit.
To be fair, he wrote Kabuto.
See, there's also a reason nobody likes Inoue. Or Masahiro Inoue. I believe it's Inoue? Masahiro Inoue. I'm trying to not get that mixed up with Tsukasa's actor. Because I'm very liable to do that. Let me make sure. It's not. I'm trying to think. It's not Masahiro in a way I'm thinking of. No, Toshiki in a way. My bad. Masahiro in a way is Tsukasa's actor. Toshiki in a way is the writer that no one likes because his writing is garbage lately. At least some of his tokusatsu writing is garbage anyway. Apparently he's gotten fine in anime circles, but it doesn't help that a lot of his later toku stuff left a very terrible stank on the franchise, and no one's really forgiven him since. Although he did write, I think, a good episode of Gokaiger for Jetman. But we have a new director in the form of Takayuki Shibasaki. Now, he directed the Drive movies and a whole bunch of various episodes throughout Rider, like several episodes of Double and O's and Forza. He's not a main director. I think he's more like a fill-in director as necessary, and also a end-of-show director sometimes. So I'm seeing him pop up in a lot of late episodes of several shows. But for current reference, he did the O's two-parter and the Rider Waz debut two-parter for Geo. He would also later go on to direct Kamen Rider Sango next year, but we're not reviewing that movie anytime soon, if at all ever. Actually, you know what? Outside of Drive Ghost, he directed every movie that Drive was in. Outside of the Heisei generation stuff. Yeah, because since he did Sango, that's a Drive movie. He did Drive Gaim, and he also did Surprise Future. What's weird is Drive is not his biggest directing credential. I think it's technically O's he has the most directing experience on. And also, once more, he's not a main director of Drive. He did 3, 4, and then 39, 40, 45, 46, and 47. Which 45 through 47 is practically the end of the series. Because that doesn't count the Ghost special episode at the end of the series. That was 48. I wouldn't be surprised if Ghost's main director wrote that one. Or directed that one. Sama Kaneda... No! No, different director. And overall, oh, it was the other director that we're used to seeing on this trilogy of films.
Oh.
But for continuity reference, since we are smack dab in the middle of Gaim, and just now seeing the debut of ToQger, this is after episode 24 of Gaim, and this is somewhere between 6 and 7 of ToQger. Not like any of that even fucking matters in this movie, but it's there for reference, folks. If you feel like watching this, if you're watching either one of those series. For reference, don't, because it'll never be referenced. None of these movies ever get referenced.
Ever. I honestly think, isn't the continuity really more based off of what suits we see?
I believe so.
So, yeah. Basically, don't worry about it.
Pretty much.
It's one of those, if you are fixing to watch Gaim from start to finish, wait on this until you get to that point. That way you don't spoil yourself on a form or something, but otherwise,
Honestly, I think the most furthest along you get form-wise in this movie is Kachidoki.
Yeah.
And that would be, what was that? Said episodes 23 and 24. When was Kachidoki's debut, even?
That's what I was wondering.
Oh, episode 23 was literally the debut of Kachidoki. It was debut of Kachidoki into the summer special with ToQger. And then episode 24 was I believe, the debut of the Overlords. Wow, the episode count for Gaim on the wiki doesn't even throw the special in there, even though it aired at that time slot. It's just like, skip episode 24. It's not even a proper episode. Because I actually think it's because it was a 1 hour special, I think. If I remember right. Granted, it gave us the best gif ever of Takatora completing missing the mech fight the entire time. You just see the mech fight in the background while he's doing work in the office, and he just looks over and he sees anything, and he's just like, all right, back to business. But yeah, this... Any thoughts before we get rolling into this?
Not really.
Alright. So, we kick off with Zawame City under attack by no one. Because Baudon, as we'll find out later, didn't really properly attack yet. Kind of, sort of. I don't know, actually. That's the one confusing part here. Who's blowing up the city?
It's a good question.
Because it's too much destruction for it to be the writer's civil war that's going on at this point in Mini-Urez opening. Because we see most, like half of the... I hate this movie. Be prepared to hear that a lot, folks. But we see Kabuto crash into a building in his mass form, and then go into his rider form, and then proceed to go fight Stronger, who I assume punched him into the building, I guess. I don't know. But the two fight, they counter each other, until eventually Kabuto wins out, because I can go faster than you and counter kick and win! And then he's immediately taken out by Skyrider because fuck you, Kabuto, you need to leave now. You're done. Your spot's done. Get out of the ring.
We can't handle you for this entire movie.
And then Heisei and Rocket States show up, which is okay, cool. Which is hilarious because unlike another form that shows up later in the show, Rocket States actually showed up in the show for Heisei outside of just debuting in Megamax. It actually showed up in an episode of Heisei, and even that episode, Gentro referenced the events of Megamax, firmly placing Megamax in Heisei's canon. So yeah, Heisei takes out Skyrider, and then Jay's there in his jumbo form, because, by the way, in case you didn't know, Jay can grow big and stuff. That's his superpower. Too bad it's pointless in all of these crossover movies.
Yeah.
He never does anything outside of here where he just punches Heisei and turns him into a lock seed. And the bad guys have all the lock seeds. Question? How are they being turned into lock seeds to start with?
I would say we'll get to that, but no, we never do.
No! It's a part of Ichigo's plan, apparently, but they never go, How did you get access to Helheim? Better yet, 15, where the fuck did you get...
You know what? I wasn't thinking about it, but that question even gets compounded. Because at the end of the movie, Takatora and Michi are talking about how there was actually nothing to do with Helheim.
But where did 15 get his belt from? Or his lock seed? Because you make those things to start with!
Yeah.
The only place he could have got him from was you! Unless Goku cut a backroom deal with them, which that actually fits his character.
Yeah. Yep.
That would actually be in his character to just cut a backroom deal and be like, oh, y'all want to cause trouble? Alright, here's a belt. Here's this lock seed I had no idea what to do with, so have fun.
And just leave me out of the
plot. Leave me alone. Fucking Schwartz from Tokyuger gets a cameo and gets to take out Deno, but Sengoku, a critical person you would probably want to show him this movie to explain where the fuck you got all your bullshit from? No appearance. But the writers destroying each other is apparently all according to plan, because that's these fucking movies in a nutshell.
Yep. Kill all the writers so that we can make a big comeback at the end. That's been the recurring theme.
We can't win against them, so let's make them fight each other. That way we can definitely win this time.
Because, that's worked so well.
Yeah, but then we cut Dakota on top of a rooftop, declaring that the Showa writers won't stop them, and goes Orange Arms, and then goes Suika, and then takes out Jay, and then we get title card. And then we flash back to 1 week ago. Meaning that somehow all of these events happen within the span of a week. I don't feel like the span of a week, to be honest.
Nope.
It feels like 2 days.
Yep. If that.
But back in Sawami City, evil purple cracks are forming in a tunnel. And we cut to Koto and Mai at the Team Gaim hangout as they discuss the stupid world inside our world. What's the movie?
I have no idea.
I can't think of the movie right now. But there's a world inside our world, deep beneath the surface. It's a famous movie. I just can't think of it. Rock was in one of them. It's a stupid idea. But
Sounds
Kyoto
like
decides to go out.
It kind of was here too.
Yep. But Kyoto heads out to go investigate while Mai tags along, and they end up falling into a crack. This feels like how the series started to start with.
You know what? You're right.
Kyoto and Mai fall through a crack to an alternate dimension. It's literally how Gaim started.
And you know what? I have a problem that the writer didn't bother to give them lines to where they kind of reference that even.
I would hope Kyoto would be like, oh god, not again. Okay, don't eat the fruit. Don't eat the fruit. Okay, no, that's on the table now. That would be in continuity at this point, where Kyoto knows that the fruits turn people into invests. Where it's like, alright, don't eat anything. Got it. Rule 1. But now they're in the upside down because we start with them being upside down, and then the camera turns around, and then they look up, and there's the world kind of in a reflection, I guess, sort of. Are they looking at South America and North? Yeah, are they looking at North America and South America? Because that's what it looked like. It looked vaguely in that shape.
I don't know.
But they were distracted because Plot Kid shows up. I don't have nicknames for him. Because at least this kid has a fucking character.
True.
Outside of the stupid, dumb Pokemon ball that Yoko carried around for a whole fucking movie.
Yeah.
So they try to like catch him and like talk to him because he's like the only fucking person around. But the kid runs up some stairs and then he uses some powers to peel up the steel plate on stairs and then hops down the hole. Which
apparently is, I guess, called turning it inside out? Even though that's not what he did?
No, you see, they keep calling it reversal when that's not reversal. That's like inversion. Which, that's not even really inversion. What he does later is inversion.
Yeah. All he did there was literally peel it up.
Yeah, that's not reversal. They keep using reversal and it annoys me to no fucking end because I'm like, you're not reversing anything, you're inverting things. What is wrong with... Get a dictionary. Use the correct term. God's sakes. And I don't blame the translators because I believe this is consistent across every sub of this movie. Meaning they literally are saying reverse every fucking time. Which is insane that someone didn't look at this and go, shouldn't this be inverse? Are we using the wrong word? Anyway, shenanigans involving in that until Mai literally just stops in front of him, arms out, just going, wait! Until Kota can catch up and catch her breath and just be like, hey, we're not gonna hurt you, kid. We just want to talk. But apparently the plot kid can't remember anything, but he does remember that his name is Shun, which this seems familiar. But wasn't this the last movie? So they decide to take the kid back up top while Tsukasa takes a picture, because apparently he just dropped by to see what was up. Because...
Or, I guess, down in this case?
Yeah, he's just like, oh look, trouble, I'm gonna go take a look. Oh no, I've been pulled into another crossover, god damn it. So we're back in the world proper, and then we walk through some of the tunnels, and then Ichigo shouts out and says that you've done goofed by pulling the kid out of the Upside Down. Because, ladies and gentlemen, is in fact Ichigo himself, Sagat Senshiro. For everyone who actually gets that, I applaud you. Because that's a very old reference. For reference, Ichigo's actor played the Sega Saturn's mascot, Sagat Sanshiro. In Japan. He even shows up in Project Cross Zone 2 as a playable character. But he shows up and says that Kota is stupid, and that he doesn't deserve the title of Kamen Rider, and he needs to, like, give up the kid. Because, shut up. It never explains anything. Which is hilarious, because Kota will earn that title in his series later on. So, fuck you, Ichigo, by the way, on that front.
Yeah, and yeah, that's kind of the recurring theme.
Yeah, the recurring theme of everyone shits on Kota, but I'm like, you know, by the end of the series, he literally gives up his humanity to save the world and pretty much exiles himself to a planet God knows how far from Earth in order to ensure that Helheim won't invade and take over the Earth. Well, scratch that. Him and Mai do that. Even though later material has kind of forgotten that Mai's there with him. I just kind of figured that Kota keeps just running off for crossover stuff, and Mai's just like, Kota, why won't you take me? Why can't I tag along? Because she has to babysit the forest every time. She's got to go babysit the animals and stuff.
Why do I always have to babysit?
Because Kota's the one with the belt. We didn't get you a belt. Even though, in a weird sort of way, I feel like Michi would just quietly be making a belt for her on the side as I am so sorry for all the shit I did. Please take this and forgive me.
Or, you know, they both have the power of the golden apple, technically.
Yeah.
So, would she actually need a belt or anything?
Well, Kota still uses his belt, so...
Yeah, but, I mean... I have to think that he does just so that he doesn't godsmack everyone that he comes in contact with.
Fair enough. But I find it funny because, like, you know a fruit that would be perfect for Mai for a rider form?
What?
Olives.
Yeah.
Because I even looked into this. I was like, where are some fruits that they didn't use? And I just saw olives, and I'm like, oh my god, that would be perfect considering her character the entire series. I'm like, this is too fucking good. Just throwing that out for people. If you want to give my rider form, go with olives. It's the best fruit you could pick. Anyway, some goons show up, and then Sagat Sanshiro over here decides to go punch him, and then transform to Ichigo. And apparently the kid knows what Kamen Riders are. Thanks, kid. Glad to know your memory loss is very selective. But they leave after Ichigo kicks the goons and destroys them. And then Koto's like, what's a Kamen Rider? Which, for reference, folks, the little crossover episode where Gaim shows up and helps Wizard and Tsukasa, that's in canon. That's officially in canon, even to this movie, because you know when Haruto references the events of that crossover later? Yeah, Kota and Haruto recognize each other from the crossover in that movie. Therefore, the special's in canon. Therefore, he should know what Kamen Riders are. Therefore, this line's stupid. Before anyone brings up the fact of, oh, he doesn't know what Kamen Riders are because he's not a Kamen Rider. He knows what Kamen Riders are. It's canon. Don't argue with me. Don't at me on that.
I'm sorry. I would have to think that he would be able to piece it together at least. And
I think the better
especially in light of the way Ichigo just talked to him.
I think the better question instead of what is a Kamen Rider is, who the fuck is the old man who talks shit to me?
Yeah.
Who's the old man saying I don't deserve my belt? Because
Yeah.
I feel a need to punch him.
Who was that dick?
Anyway, Mai brings out her tablet to give the Shu so he could draw something, and then he draws Lisa Simpson. Stole that joke, by the way. I didn't think of Lisa Simpson until I watched a review of this movie, and I'm like, God damn it, you're right, he did draw Lisa Simpson. But no, that's supposed to be Futo Tower later on. We'll get there. But before we can get to that, the cracks get bigger and goons pop out as we slow motion our way through crowds, through people running away, and Kota and Mai showing up to deal with goons. Because Bodon's here, not Shocker, which, for reference, is just Shocker 7. That's just Shocker 7.0, so it's still Shocker. It's just a different flavor of Shocker. Which means, once more, Shocker is the bad guys of the stupid dumb crossover bullshit.
Yeah.
God damn. This is why no one likes Shocker anymore, because they keep being pulled into this bullshit.
Yeah, but, it's having the inverse effect for decades.
Yeah, it keeps giving him a paycheck. God, I hope Tsukasa's actor gets paid for this shit. I hope he gets paid decent for this, because he keeps showing up. And I feel so bad every time. Because he tries. He tries in this movie. He's got the best joke in the fucking movie. He's got the best joke and the best expression ever in this movie. But the villains also want the kid, because reasons. And Kota's just like, fuck that. No, you don't. You're not getting him, because I don't care. You showed up and started blowing shit up. Fuck off. So he goes to transform, but then the Pokemon guy decides to shoot his quills at them, and it's a good thing Kota can use the fruit as a shield with his arm that he never does ever again, before or after this. And is also not how the fruit works.
At all.
Because, yeah, you would have killed him, and the kid, and Mai. Bravo, dipshit. Did you forget that he's standing beside him when you did that? This is why you're incompetent villains. This is why you always lose.
This is why they are Shocker 7.0.
Yes. And for reference, they are literally Shocker 7.0, because that's how the Showa Rider villains work. Is that they were just new incarnations of Shocker eventually, under different names. Because the Great Leader would go, fuck it, this organization's not working. Let's just blow everything up and start again. We'll get this right once. Because it was part of the overarching continuity of the Showa era. Because the Showa era had continuity between series. Mainly because of the same production crew every year.
But that's what's bad. Out of all three of these movies, you know which one the Shocker being the main villain would actually work with?
This one? But it's Bodon, because Zikros, who is like here for a token cameo at best. Even though he plays a villain for the whole movie. So we fight, and then the kid inverses the costume of one of the Bodon goons, which is not reversal. Still not reversal. But then General Shadow shows up and Coach is losing. But then Kaito shows up because, oh, look, people to punch. Cool. I get people to punch. And then Michi and Takatora show up, and Michi, being a dumbass, keeps calling Takatora brother in clear earshot of everyone else.
Yep.
He does it twice in this movie in clear earshot of someone who should not know this and will not know it for another 10 plus episodes in Gaim. I say again, 10 plus episodes in Gaim. Thanks. Thanks for letting that possibly be blown up in this movie. So they fight, and 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 then 15 shows up. Because we need a villain who has the power of 15 riders. So he's a less good version of Decade with a knockoff Lockseed. Because bear in mind, because of the events of Superhero Taisen, Tsukasa turned into Ichigo, which means he could probably just turn into every fucking one at this point, because fuck it! He's got all the cards.
Well, you know, that's the other thing too. We know by the time Geo comes around, he's got all the rider cards for everyone up at least up to Geo.
Up to build. I don't think he's shown cards for Geo. I don't think Geo's symbol is even on the Neo Deca driver.
So when did he get some of them?
He got them at some undetermined point that we're not going to tell you because we just want to sell you a new Deca driver. That's not as good as the complete selection driver. That just came out like a year ago.
Hmm.
But yeah, he's got a Loxy that is just says 15 and looks like a skeleton and drops a skeleton on his face in order to give him his armor. Even though the Loxeeds are supposed to be based off fruits and nuts, but whatever.
Oh, fruits, nuts, skulls. What's the difference?
It's not. It doesn't even unfold or anything. It just drops him in and kind of absorbs into him and gives him his armor.
Yeah. Like it is the most inverse of a Lockseed there could possibly be.
Yep. So he starts kicking ass, and then he pulls out the Heisei Rider Lockseed. And I forget which arm. I believe he goes Wizard first. Yeah, he goes Wizard for this. And he takes out Takatora. So he's done for the movie. And then we go over to Gaim, who's busy getting his ass handed to him. He tries to go Jimba to counter 15. But that doesn't work because none of his upgrades are going to work in this movie, even though they should. Like, Jimba is literally him able to tank anything. In his tank form.
Well, not quite tank form. Jimba's not that. But still, Jimba should have, I would have thought, at least equaled him. Mm-hmm. Like, when he goes Kachidoki later, yeah, that's where the problem comes in, when he gets just smacked around in that form. It's like, no. No.
But yeah, since Cody's getting his ass into him, somebody needs to show up for the rescue, and then Ichigo, Nigo, and V3 show up, and they're all dicks to him as they proceed to try to save him. Because all of the Showa writers are assholes in this movie. All of them. X is probably the least assholeless one of them, and he only becomes an asshole after Takumi proceeds to help him. Which is like such a dick move, it's ridiculous. It's like, oh, you saved this girl I took in and protected me from the villains. Like, oh, that's cool. Now I have to kick your ass, though, because you're a Heisei rider. What? Anyway. So that happens. They fight 15. The poor guy tries to get Shu, but Mai protects him, and then Shu drops her and Kota in the sewers, and then they head off to Troopers. So I guess that fight with Ichigo, Nigo, and V3 and 15 is just happening off screen, and it wraps up at some point, and that's done. But at Troopers, we run into Tsukasa, who has all the answers about the plot and the bullshit going on. Because the Badan are trying to do something, and the kid's the key to it, and I honestly don't care. I'll be honest, I tuned out like this explanation because I'm like, I know where this goes, and I don't care. I know we're just killing time right now. But then fucking Narutaki shows up as a fucking gremlin, a literal gremlin on the counter, and then like steps away and back on camera at full size to be like, you must gather the Heisei Riders to defeat the big bad. Which sounds a whole lot like one of the other movies in the series.
Yep.
And Tsukasa's like, why only the Heisei Riders? And he's like, because the show and Heisei Riders can't get along and mix, and if you want an answer, you must look to your heart for it. And I never noticed this before, but Kota literally puts his hands to his heart, closes his eyes for a second, and he's like, I don't get any of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And once more, I'm like, Kota, my God, you are carrying this film. Because you are just like, what is happening? Why? Oh my God, I just dealt with with me killing my best friend, and now I'm in this bullshit crossover. And I just ran into Train Kids too. Things made much more sense when it wasn't this. What's going on?
Things made much more sense when it was only my craziness.
Exactly. But yeah, they can't mix even though they teamed up like the last 2 times and then every other crossover before that. But fuck it, who cares? We need a plot because we have 15 Show and 15 Heisei, and we'll never have this chance again, so we gotta do it now. And as I put in my notes, it's either stupid meta nonsense or horseshit. I vote horseshit. Because I don't think they try to do some meta bullshit with this one. Well, at least as hard as they did in Superhero Taisen. And also, I'd like to point out, in my notes, I literally go, Kota legit checks his heart and fucking doesn't understand a goddamn thing. I miss you, you giant space god goof. But Tsukasa proceeds to tell him nothing, because fuck the new guy. It's just like...
Well, I mean, that is Tsukasa's plan most of the time. It's just... I'm telling you nothing, that way when it blows up, it only blows up in my face.
Yeah. Also, he even questions, like, what is the Showa Heisei nonsense that everyone's talking about? And I also, like, shouldn't you know what Heisei and Showa mean? But I assume you mean, like, why are they 2 different... What's going on? No one told me anything. I literally only ran into, like, 14 of you guys before. Who's the old guy? Who is anyone? Hello?
I have only been a writer for like 6 months now. Come on now. Someone tell me answers.
Please, help, please. I only thought there were 14 of you before. And now you're telling me there's more. And they were like around in the Showa era? And like one of them is old enough to be my grandfather? Okay, cool. But yeah, Tsukasa then proceeds to get the best line in the movie where he says that it'll be rough getting the Heisei Riders together because they're all a bit cheeky. And then Drooper's boss is like, well, you're the cheekiest one of the bunch. And he just fucking says nothing and just looks just away like, Damn right I am. You fucking know it. I know it. I own that. That is legit Tsukasa's entire shtick at this point, and I refuse to believe that is not his shtick. I refuse to believe that he did not bribe Emu into giving him the loft for Geo, so he could do his shady bullshit business before he just left.
I'd say that's what it is.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, now Kota's done for most of the movie, but Kaito decides to show up and goes, I'll help because strength and stuff. So they're off to Futo because that's what the drawing was. It was Futo Tower. And they're off to recruit Shotaro, who is being himself to himself because that's Shotaro. Also, He's actually not wearing the boss's hat. He's wearing a new white hat because it doesn't have the chip in it.
Yeah,
also, thanks for...
I never paid attention to that, actually.
I purposely looked for it because Shotaro has the hat because he uses it in the last episode he uses it in the second to last. He actually wears it in the second to last episode of Double. Narumi's actual hat. He wears it in the second to last episode. So it is there. And I think it's even there in the background for every episode of Double if you look at the hat rack.
Yeah.
But no, this is not Narumi's hat. It's a new hat. So I guess it's his own white hat because he has a white suit now. And thanks, Kamen Taisen, for throwing away the visual of a little older Shotaro in a white suit, just like his boss. Thanks for ruining that, by the way. So, Tsukasa and Kaito tried to recruit him, but he's like, I'm busy on a case. I got some missing pets I need to recruit. So, you want to help? You can take the turtle, you can take the cat, I'll go get the dog. Bye! Because Shotaro knows better. Shotaro's only been in good crossovers till now. At least 33% of the time for a couple of them. So he knows when a bad crossover is going to happen. And he wants out of this as soon as possible. So Kaito's stuck looking for a turtle while Shotaro goes to try to recruit Takumi, who's just like, no. He's just like, no, I don't wanna. Leave me alone. Because, for reference, folks, Takumi is an orphanok in his show Fives, which means he's on borrowed time. Because the more he uses the Fives driver, the closer he is to dying. And at the end of Fives, he was getting close to the end of his potential lifespan as an orphanok. So all those times he showed up in all these little crossover movies, including the last two we just talked about, yeah, he's probably thinking, no, I'm good. I'll probably keel over in the middle of battle, so no. But apparently the real reason is a reshot ending of Fives, which we'll get there.
Yeah.
So Takumi tries to leave, but then he's attacked by Porcupine Guy and a bunch of Bottom goons. And then Tsukasa shows up going, I don't give a fuck, come get some. Literally, he's just the Porcupine Guy's like, it's like, do you want to die? And Tsukasa's just like, try, son. Fucking try. Fucking none of these riders could kill me. You think your dipshit ass can?
Yeah. I'm wanting to say, was this the point where he's like, and you're the first one that's ever threatened to do that?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, he's also just like, I'm tired of being ignored. I want to fight. Let's fight! Because, again, for whatever reason, Tsukasa's supposed to have a death wish in this movie, and I'm just like, No, you just don't get his humor. This is Tsukasa on any given day. Literally. Especially with what happens in Geo, I feel like Tsukasa is he's just like this. Because, yeah, he's a bit cynical right now, but it all comes through humor for him. Because he's just like, yeah, I kind of blew up everything, but then I fixed it, so we're cool, right? No? Oh, fuck it, whatever, I don't care. I'm just gonna go exploring worlds and take photos and stuff, and if I end up in trouble, I'll go clearing it up, but eh.
I think a lot of times, whenever he's involved with any kind of a plot, it's a case of what kind of fun can I have?
Pretty much.
Because even with Geo, like, he came in, he screwed with both sides. like he really just beat Geo to a pulp on numerous occasions.
Mm-hmm.
But he wouldn't do Time Jacker's work of finishing him either, so it's like, yeah, he didn't care. He just wanted to see who he could piss off while he was there.
And in the end, he ended up helping Geo, because not only did he give him the Decade Ride Watch, he even gave him the chance to meet his future self and setting him on the path to actually being a better person for fucking once.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he does have to kind of make sure that Geo doesn't destroy the world that he might want to decide to be in.
Yeah. Again, Tsukasa's a dick. He is 100% an asshole. But he's a nice asshole. Because even though he'll say jackassery things, it just is meaning it in a joking way because that's how he deals with shit. Or he just doesn't care. Because after everything he's been through, this is the least scary thing he's had to deal with. Fucking pissing off every writer in existence and having to go blow their asses up in order to not die? 1 second. I'm back.
Okay.
My mom had to show me a picture of what or could be like the brother and sister of our dog from their looks. Anyway, yeah, that's just Tsukasa's character at this point. He doesn't have a death wish. He just doesn't care. You have to try really hard to scare him and make anything look more threatening than what he went through. So yeah, he's fighting the goons and is actually like telling Fies that it's okay. It's like, hey, you don't have to fight if you don't need to. Like, it's okay. Like, he's actually a decent person to Takumi in the middle of the fight before he takes the fight elsewhere. And I assume gives Takumi time to like go before he pulls a DN move of like popping invisible.
Yeah, I would hope.
I'd also have to think that was Tsukasa's plan to start with.
Probably.
So yeah, 15 shows up and fights Decade and beats him up and even debuts the Decade armor. because, hey, we got to show off a new rider armor, which means that his powers are redundant now if he has decade armor.
True.
But yeah, we get a bit of the reshot ending of Fives. We'll get to that more later when it's actually shown off. So 15 jobs out Tsukasa. Tsukasa just fucks off after he gets beaten up. We get hijinks with Jotaro and Kaito as a quick little breather after that moment. And then we go to a restaurant where Takumi's trying to eat some noodles, but they're too hot because he's sensitive to heat, actually. He's sensitive to hot foods and hot stuff, so he doesn't like eating hot stuff. That's like the most consistent thing with his character in this fucking movie. And it's hilarious because that's like one of the first things you learn about Takumi in Fives, actually. So somebody here at least watched like the first 2 episodes of Fives. But as he's trying to eat, some guy runs into there, takes a girl hostage, and Takumi's just kind of like, the fuck? God damn it. So he just kind of stares going on and is just like, all right, what to do. And then X, I think it's Juri. I don't remember X's actual name. Jin. My bad. Jin decides to help him out because he's bleeding and he's a doctor and a Hippocratic Oath, I guess. So when the SWAT guys decide to show up, he pretty much takes down their entire squad and then proceeds to patch up the guy and pretty much just talk him down. And do a bit of Phoenix Wright breakdown on him, so he just drops the gun and just like lets himself be arrested. And just like, be nice to him, at least. He's bleeding. Because I guess he got shot in the stomach or stabbed in the stomach at some point. But like, Takumi follows him back to his little hospital place because, I don't know, he needs a plot, so he's gonna go follow a plot for a little while. Then he helps out Jin take care of some guy who's in pain because he was drunk and got glass stuck in his shoulder. So after he helps him, then it's like Jin gets him to talk about why he's just down and out. And apparently it's a redone version of the ending of Fives, where essentially the battle between the horse Orphanok, who is a main character in the series, I don't remember his name at the moment, and Kusaka happened at the exact same time that Fives was fighting the King of Orphanoks. That was the other white suit that wasn't the horse one in the scene. Just for reference. But yeah, the Kisaku died by not having his neck snapped, instead being set on fire, which... I prefer if his neck was snapped. And he blames Takumi for being someone who fights for nothing, and hopes apparently that will like make him regret being alive and him dying. Or some bullshit along that line. Look, here's the thing about Fives that I don't get between here and Geo of why do we portray Takumi and Kusaka as friends, quote unquote? They didn't like each other. They never liked each other. They literally hated each other. Hated each other. Kusaku is literally the largest, biggest asshole in this franchise. Why? He's literally a dick. The biggest, largest dick in the franchise. What are we doing? He is such a dick, he has gotten his own fucking special holiday among the fandom. Based on his, the number he puts into his Kaisa phone, which is 913. I just don't. But yeah, that like retconned ending of Fives. So like Takumi regrets that Kusaku died and he lived, which is bullshit because he doesn't. Just he shouldn't even know he's dead, let alone care. So whatever. So Jin tries to give him advice of like, look out to the ocean. The ocean accepts all, which I don't know what he was trying to tell him with that. Do you know what he was trying to tell him with that?
No.
Okay. I was thinking it was kind of shit advice to start with. But yeah, after they do that, like Takumi sticks around and like drives the girl to go grocery shopping because fuck it, I'll stick around for another day. It's not like I got anything better to do. Besides, tell Tsukasa no again, but he didn't drop by, so yay. But Baudon shows up because they demand Faiza's head. So the girl, like, the Baudon tries to take the girl hostage, but Jin shows up, doesn't transform, but still fights off the bad guys. And Takumi just goes, fuck it, one more round. Let's see where this goes. And puts on the Fives gear and just completely demolishes the lot of them. Takes them all out. Even goes 5 Axel for good measure. But after he's done, Jin goes, you're a Heisei rider. I don't like you. Let's fight. And transforms into X. And then fights Fives, who doesn't fight back. Because why would I fight this old man who tried to give me advice, but that was kind of shit, but he was kind of the nicest person to me this week? Like, I don't even understand why you're fighting me. No one told me about this Showa Heisei bullshit. Tsukasa sure as hell didn't tell me. He just told me to go fight some Baudon guys, and, well, I fought some Baudon guys. I think he even tells him that he's weak, which I'm like, wow, way to tell a man who's literally risking his own life by putting on the belt again. Granted, the movie never touches on this point. I think it takes the Kamen Rider Yongo net movies for them to even acknowledge the fact that, yeah, Takumi should be dead by now. So we got back to Futo, where Tsukasa's talking to Shotaro and trying to recruit him, but Shotaro doesn't want to leave because no rider was protecting Futo, which makes me go, where's Teruri? Is he just on vacation with, like, the rest of the double crew? But Shotaro at least tells him, hey, I at least know who Shun is. He's supposed to be dead, so I guess he's a zombie made by Umbrella. And apparently Futo's near Zawami because they're apparently within walking distance of each other. Which, because, like, Kota and Shu go to his house as Shotaro's explaining this, and Shun picks up the explanation from there and says that's like, yeah, I was a kid and I did something stupid and then I got killed and I regret doing the stupid thing. So I want to invert the stupid thing, which is what he should be saying, but he says reverse the stupid thing, which is just texting his mom a picture saying I hate you into a message that says I love you. But he's like 6, and it was a stupid decision, but he was 6. But after we're done with all this explanation bullshit, 15 shows up and Shun's there to see his face, and he's like, Dad? The fuck are you doing? But apparently they're going to use Shu to invert who is alive and who is dead. Apparently, with Shu's 7th dimensional power. I quote, 7th dimensional power. What? What the fuck does that even mean? What the fuck even is seventh? What even would you classify seventh dimensional powers as? But she brings up the point of, Mom would be dead if you did this, and he don't give a fuck, so cool. So Coach transforms, 15 transforms, they fight. 15 tells him he's never experienced despair before, which, bear in mind, as I said, happened 2 episodes. This is 2 episodes after he found out he killed his best friend in his first fight as Gaim. And it nearly broke him. So, thanks, movie. Thanks for once more having a villain say the wrong thing to Kota. But Tsukasa shows up to help, and then Kota's like, take Shu to his mom, and like drops him a Rose Attacker, which, when did Kota get a Rose Attacker? His bike's the Sakura Hurricane. He doesn't have a Rose Attacker, I think. Did he ever have a Rose Attacker on him? Okay, cool. He just had a second bike on him because he needed to ride in on the bike in another scene.
No, they're probably using the bike for another scene.
Most likely. So yeah, they're fighting, but we follow Tsukasa and Shu as they ride off, and then was it Jack Matter, old enemy of Tsukasa, who's just like, oh, I don't have time to fight you. But he won't need to because Black and RX show up, who are being voiced by 2 different people, even though they're the same person. Because technically RX is a sequel series to Black, and they're the same person. Literally the same person. Which, cool! Thanks! Thanks, Trilogy of Movies, for continuing to fuck that up. So they blow up Jack Matter. And then Tsukasa's like, hey, thanks, guys. And they're like, you're next. And then Tsukasa just has this look of, I'm done. I'm so fucking done with being this. I'm so tired of being on this side of the conversation when this shit comes up. I am so tired of writers trying to kill me. I fuck up one thing, and now I'm the fucking devil incarnate. Fuck it. And they currently bring up at this point that the Heisei writers are responsible because of their attachments to the dead, who gave way to Badon to being able to revive, and that is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. And I also go, how do you know that? Who told you that? But Jotaro shows up to help, and what I think is his most badass henshin ever, as he goes Joker and does half of the catchphrase out of suit and completes it when the transformation's finished. Like, yeah. God damn it, Jotaro, I miss you, because in a supremely bad movie, you just make a good moment happen. Also, just want to point out, RX's Revolve Cane is supposed to be a lightsaber. It doesn't have any other, like, depowered form. You don't just turn it off and there's a stick there. No, it's a lightsaber. It's a lightsaber. You want to know when it was not a lightsaber?
When?
When we adapted RX into Masked Rider. Which, you know, was so bad, it made Shotaro Ishimori not want Rider to ever be adapted into America ever again. Which almost never happened outside of Dragon Knight. That's how bad RX was. Or, not RX, Masked Rider was. But yeah, Kaito's also here to help, and they take down RX. But then Amazon and Super 1 show up and take down Kaito. And we just cut away to Tsukasa, so I guess Shotaro they just leave. They just part ways there. So he tries to like let Shin meet with his mom, but then 15 shows up and they try to take Joe, and Tsukasa tries to stop him, but it doesn't work because Decade Arms is stronger than Decade itself, and wrong sound clips all around in this scene from everyone involved. Because Tsukasa goes into a form ride for Hibiki instead of a common ride. I believe 15 has the wrong squash sound effect. It should be Decade Squash, not Hibiki Squash.
No.
Also,
actually, I think you might be wrong on that. I think what they screwed up was they forgot to actually show the transition to Hibiki Arms.
No, he was still in Decade Arms.
With the Hibiki weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is one of those redundant aspects of the powers.
Also one of those things that really shouldn't have happened.
Yeah. Granted, it's not like Decade doesn't have redundant powers. Most of his Final Four rhymes are all redundant aspects of his powers. I'm surprised more people don't bring up the fact that most of his Final Form rides where he transforms riders into objects is shit he already has cards for. Anyway, apparently the Forze one gives him the rocket sword from Cosmic States, which I'm like, excuse me? So you could just pull out whatever weapon you want with these? Because I think he also pulls out the Elect States weapon later on in Forze Arms.
Hmm.
But then he goes into his ultimate form, which is the Gaim Arms. Which, okay, cool. But then Kota shows up and goes Kachidoki and kills a bunch of goons before 15 jobs him out because you may be de-transformed, but I'm not, and I still win because I have the kids, so bye!
Well, and I love how Kota's walking tank form just gets slapped around. It's like, nope. Just no.
Especially when, again, for reference, 2 episodes before this movie happened, in the debut of Kachidoki, Kota just takes a whole bunch of gunfire from a bunch of the Danden liners and Kurogage troopers, fucking just standing there, just takes it all. He fucking just charges fucking Yggdrasil's base and blows shit up left and right, just in Kachidoki. And even, I think, fights Shin Zangetsu to a standstill.
Yet this cheap knockoff form winds up just laying waste to him.
Yep.
Because let's be honest, that's all the Gaim Arms really is in comparison.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, Tsukasa cracks a joke about the situation, which Kota gets in his face about, until Tsukasa's like, let's go help the kid. It's like, let's get the other riders and see if we can pull something out of our ass on this. And Kota's like, has that look of realizing, oh, you were making a joke. Oh, right. Sorry. Still not used to you. So then we're back to the cold open we were, so apparently a week has passed. We get a montage of clips from the cold open until Schwartz from the Shadow Line from Tokyuger shows up and is like, a rider war. Do you mind if we help? Because what you're doing helps us. So one of their trains is able to go in the space between time that Deno can get into, which means the Shadow Line should be able to travel through time, because that's the only way you can get in there. And then they blow up Deno. What? How the fuck did you get in there? You have to be able to travel through time to get in there. Because that is an in-between space of time. Anyway, we see Agito and Super 1 fight each other, and the rare appearance of Trinity Agito, which until this movie happened, only appeared in one episode of Agito. One episode of Agito. This is the second appearance of Trinity form in canon. But they take each other out, and then a bunch of other writers take each other out. I didn't write down who, and I didn't care. It's a bunch of draws of a bunch of other writers. But like Tsukasa, Kota, and Takomi meet up on a bridge, and they're stopped by 6 of the Legendary 7, minus Stronger, since he got taken out earlier, and he's been replaced by Black. But Shotaro shows up with Wizard Oz and Kiba. And Shotaro is still in Joker form, not in double form. Also, apparently Shotaro knows how to recruit people, because he actually, like, got this small little team together and managed to push through to here. But this is where we get more of that bullshit explanation of the Heisei Riders' attachments to their dead friends and family created a path for Bodon to utilize to revive and come back from the dead. Which is the stupidest thing ever, and is even stupider because every single one of those people on that other side of this equation have lost people too, and have feelings for them as well. And they also say that wanting them to revived also is a part of this, which only one person here is trying to revive someone, and it's Edgy. And he has to do it now because time. He's in a time loop where he has to have that happen now, otherwise he'll create a paradox. That he can't get out of it now. As if he does, he creates a paradox, because the Ankh that helps him in Megamax is from the future. Meaning that Ankh's metal is fixed. Which, to be fair, Ankh isn't even technically a person. He's a greed, which is a monster, which he's kind of just like an artificial being, technically. He's not even an actual person. None of the greeds really are. But also, that power apparently created 15 as well. Which... Excuse... How does all of this make all of this happen? Like, you're saying that this one thing that is kind of just a human nature thing somehow created all this is fucking nonsense. Like, is responsible for this entire movie is just fucking bullshit. It's literal bullshit. Ugh. Well, we'll get to another misinterpretation of events as well later on, but they need to stop the Heisei Riders before they take care of Bodon, which is the stupidest thing in the world that they could do. Why not team up, take care of Bodon, and then settle your bullshit dispute later?
Because that would make sense.
And I think like someone says that Tsukasa has a death wish, and I'm like, no, that's just his humor. None of you get his jokes. None of you get his humor. But we get the decade speech with Kota and Takumi hopping in for a triple whammy of decade speeches. And Kota even goes, if what you're saying of just disregarding your humanity and like forgetting all of your loved ones is the path of a writer, fuck that path, I don't want it. is hilarious because he's like, I don't want your title if this is what it is, which it's not, because what he does in the series is far more in line with the path of a writer is. So once more, Kota is more of a writer than how the Showa writers, who are the namesakes of this franchise, are in this movie. But they fight, and 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 Kota's solo against Ichigo, and I guess he takes out Ichigo as well. We don't see him turned into a Lockseed, I don't think. It kind of just happens a slightly bit off screen as we transition. As the, was it the Mega Reversal Machine?
I think so.
The thing they shove, yeah, that's the thing they shove Shu in order to pull off their bullshit. But apparently this one villain that I don't even remember the name of because it's important was Z-Cross all the time, and he's just lying in wait for them to reveal the machine so he could blow it up. And I guess not kill Shu in the process? But she's already dead, so how, like, destructible is he? Like, can you actually kill him since he's already dead?
Good question.
Also, Z-Cross didn't do shit this entire movie. But yeah, he tries. It's a fake out because the machine is bigger than this one tower here. And Z-Cross goes, well, plan B then. And he like grabs all the lock seeds they've been collecting and shoves them in Gaim and pulls all the riders out of Helheim, which isn't how Gaim's powers work to start with. Well, not yet anyway. Like, if this was like a post-series Gaim, yeah, he could totally shove people into Helheim all he wanted. He'd just like pop open a portal and be like, step in, boys. And just drop them off on his planet. Until needed.
But that's not how that works.
No.
At all.
No, you just can't shove lock seeds into them and then just like open up portals to Helheim. Also, why would you drop them in Helheim? That's a bad place, remember? Did you also brief everyone and tell them, don't eat the fruits? It doesn't matter how long you are, don't eat the fruits. But this has been Ichigo's plan all along, and all the riders are pulled together so they can fight, and their bullshit plan is going to cause them problems because kind of late to pull this. You might want to pull this sooner, but oh well. So they fight, and they fight, and they fight, and they fight, and fight, and we get a bunch of fights and fighting and stuff, and I don't care to recap all the fighting and stuff. Outside of the GoPro on a stick strapped to the back of 15 as he slowly swings his sword around for 5 seconds, which is the most atrocious shot in this movie. I think, like, Double O's Forze, Wizard, and Decade try to fight 15, and they all get their asses handed to them. Because only Gaim gets to fight 15 in this movie on equal footing. Now, since it's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But then D-Rex shows up, because it's the great leader, I assume. I don't know. I don't care. It's a giant skull T-Rex with a face that's split open like the one from RE6, with a skull in the middle, and it starts blowing shit up. And then Daigo just shows up now from Kyoryuger, like, oh, there's a T-Rex involved. I have a T-Rex mech. Fucking get him, Gabutira, as I join the fight, because I'm the only one of my team here. So Gaim and 15 fight, and then the other Gaim Riders show up to blow up monsters, and they do. But then, like, as Takumi's fighting, Kusaka shows up and taunts him some more, and it's like, hey buddy, how about you let this happen, and then you can make up for all your mistakes. And Takumi actually fucking listens to him. But after that happens, the Tokyuja crew show up and then help and form Tokyo and then go fight T-Rex. And after that happens, the fucking Ichigo goes over to Kota and is like, hey, take this thing I've had on me this entire time. And it's the Showa Rider Lock Seed. And he goes Ichigo arms, which has a mouth apparently and bites 15 before it fully materializes on Dakota. Fuck, what? That's still the most weirdest thing in the world. Of just like, that's not a mouth. So as they're fighting, we go over to fucking Takumi and or not Takumi, X and Wizard, because by this point, Tsukasa and a bunch of Tsukasa riding Agito, because he's riding the Machine Tornado Agito from Decade, not the actual Machine Tornado, and a couple other riders that can fly, have went and Rikuzu and like ran away, got him away, so they can start blowing up base. So Wizard's in Infinity form, X like go to start blowing it up, but Takumi blocks them with the Fize Blaster, and he's like, "My friend," and Haruto's like, "You're being an idiot," and X straight up punches him in the face for being stupid and listening to his jackass friend. And at this point, Haruto also brings up that his feelings for Koyomi turned her into an evil mage, which is a reference to Ultimatum, which is not how that it went. What happened was, have you seen Ultimatum?
Nope.
Okay, this is post Wizard. So you remember how Wizard ended, where like Haruto still has the Philosopher's Stone that Koyomi's in?
Yeah.
Or like is? Okay, so he still has that. Well, a phantom showed up and stole it from him. Like, kicked his ass and stole it from him. And he then proceeded to give the Philosopher's Stone a physical form in the form of an evil Koyomi. And Haruto had to deal with that for his like third of the film until he finally like saved her, or like brought Koyomi back and defeated the Phantom inside his own underworld. Because Shuppei created the miracle, or not the miracle, what was it? He created a wizard ring that allowed Haruto to kind of clone himself and send himself into his own underworld in order to defeat the Phantom that invaded it, because this Phantom has the copies of all of the different Phantoms throughout the series. For some reason. I'm not sure why. But he used the one from the Infinity two-parter to go into Haruto to try to kill him. But Wizard ended up fighting him in a really cool scene that like happens like interspersed into like episodes of the show because it's happening through his memories. But yeah, eventually by the end, like Haruto takes the Philosopher's Stone and literally places it inside of his own underworld by giving the ring back to the Koyomi inside of his underworld, inside of his memories, thus making it disappear. Because when we come back, it was in his hand before, but when he opens his hands, it's gone. Which is the oldest trick in the book. Or the oldest magician's trick of just making something disappear. Which is a nice little reference. But yeah, no. You didn't make Koyomi come back into an evil mage. No. A Phantom turned the Philosopher's Stone, gave the Philosopher's Stone a physical form of an evil Koyomi to fuck with you. Do you not remember the events of your own third of a film of a crossover with the guy you're standing next to half the time in this movie? Damn it, Haruto. So yeah, Takumi fucking figures this shit out, and now the three of them team up, and Fize goes into blaster form, and not how he was supposed to, which you were asking me about pre-stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not how blaster form works, but fuck it, he's in it now.
Yeah.
So they all go just blow up the base. Blow up the base, so that's blown up. And then Gabatira turns into a train. because
reasons.
That was a Legend Sentai Resha that was out at the time, which I don't know why they didn't just throw a Tokyuger battery into Gabatira to turn him into a train, but fuck it, whatever, he's a train now. But Deno then shows up because he wants to do a combination, so he gets to be the head of the Tokyo combination first. But then Daiko pushes in, so then he becomes the legs.
And doesn't understand why he's the legs.
Yep, especially since this movie is a Kamen Rider Taisen featuring Super Sentai, and the name of the mech is what was it? Choryu Tokyo or something along those lines, featuring Deno, which I have to think is just a joke. But they make D-Rex go boom, and then Kota fucking talking like back talks 15, and then kicks his face off, and he's back to normal. And the fight's over, and then shit's gonna disappear. But then the Showa writers do their writer syndrome from their part of the franchise to help Shu inverse his message and send him to the lighthouse, which apparently isn't that far because then his dad shows up because his belt's destroyed and he's not under a dark influence anymore. So I guess happy ending for them, and the movie's over. Except there was a vote for for two different endings of this movie, and we're not to that point yet. Because then Ichigo has to show up and be like, we're not fucking done yet. We still got to deal with the fact that you are the reason for all this mess because of stupid bullshit reasons that are probably a lie. But we are totally going to buy it. So Ichigo transforms, and then the 15 of all the riders present fight, and then it's punch, kick, swing a weapon, punch, kick, swing a weapon, punch, kick, swing a weapon. And you can see that I didn't care about this fight because I have that for most of a page of notes. Because I am so bored at this point. Because I don't care, because I know this fight's stupid. And then it comes down to the guy versus Ichigo. And Narutaki's being a dick the entire time.
What's new?
So the canon ending is the one that was voted for folks, which is the Heisei ending, which has Ichigo proceed to kick Kota, and Kota takes the hit head on because he's protecting a flower.
Dumbest thing possible.
Yeah, a flower. Just a random flower that's there on the battlefield. Because it proves that, protecting life is important no matter how big or small it is. And Ichigo cares, he loses. And then everyone makes up. And we have our conclusions to our stupid subplots throughout the entire thing. I think Decade and Zicross have a moment, even though Zicross was barely in this fucking movie to start with. And then that's the movie. But on the flip side, the show ending is there where Kota charges up for an attack and takes 5 years to do it, and Ichigo doesn't take any opportunity to kick him, is just stared like, come on, hit me. And as he finally charges up, he stops because he's like, you're just testing us, aren't you? And he's like, yeah. It's the same lesson. And then the same ending happens and blah, blah, blah. And then we're done. We are done with this fucking god-awful movie. Because that's it. That's it. God, why? So how do you feel on your second watch of this movie?
Glad that it's over.
Yeah, I feel that way too. Because, I don't think I'm as angry as these movies as I was when I originally watched them. Mainly because I know what happens. I know they're all stupid. But I also know all of these movies are purposely written out of continuity now, no matter what, because of the Yongo Net movies. So, fuck them. You no longer matter. Even if you remotely mattered to start with, you super don't matter anymore. So now you're just boring pieces of shit. Which is like the hilarious part to me about these is that like all of their bad parts are if you know the series and if you know anything about any of the people involved in these movies, and you can just go that no, that's not how these characters act, and no, that's not how that thing went down, and no, that's not anything. That's where the awfulness of these movies come in. Otherwise, they are boring because nothing happens for 2/3 of the runtime until the last 30 minutes, where it's just a giant smosh or giant fucking just slugfest between suits and suits, and I just have no feelings for anything. Like, again, to go to what I feel is the bar for writer crossovers, which is Megamax. The end of that movie is all of our heroes from the whole movie gather together, fucking go after the main villain, go after the bad guys, fucking charge after them, and fucking take them down. And it's not easy. And the fight has to, like, different people have to go take care of different groups of villains. Like, Double has to go take on, like, 4 Zodiarts to give Edgy and Gentaro the opening they need to go deal with the main Foundation X bad guy, because they've got a more personal stake in this. So Double's like, go do it. Like, I got these guys. And like the Legendary 7 writers are also here, but they take care of the copies of the main bad guys from Double and O's at the time. Because once more, that gives O's and Heisei the opportunity to go deal with the main bad guy. And their scenes are probably a total of 5 minutes, and it's just one big nostalgia bomb for the Showa era. And then it's done. Fucking Aqua Kamen Rider Aqua from the movie as well even shows up in this and helps out. Which is kind of funny because Kamen Rider Aqua is one giant tribute to the original Showa, to like Ichigo, but instead of being wind powered, he's water powered. Yeah, it's just a series of finishers that are just quick, they're fast, they're shot well, because again, it's Koichi Sakamoto directing the entire thing. It's like they're there and they're done, but like the Legendary 7 are characters in this movie. But we know that these returning bad guys, they're not them. They're just copies. Like, that's put there up front. So it's like, oh, so they're just, like, they're puppets to punch. Cool. Like, in this, we're never told that these guys are puppets. We're supposed to believe that they're the real villains when they're not, because they don't act like them. Yeah. Which is hilarious, because in Megamax, some of those puppet villains have the mannerisms of their original people. Yeah. So it's like, I know you're not the real person, but you damn sure act like it. So, cool. But even the final fight, it's O's and Heisei in their movie power-up forms against the villain. And they proceed to kick his ass for like 10 minutes and have an actual fight. And finally are able to beat him. And end the movie. But like, you build to that throughout the entire movie. So once more, like, Megamax is my bar. Like, you have to be better than Megamax in terms of a crossover film. And that didn't cross over everybody. Like, Terry doesn't show up for the movie, which is fine. The Bursts are in the movie, but they're out of commission by the end of Oz's portion of the movie. And this movie was pre-Meteor's debut. And actually, he cameos at the end of the movie. And actually, his appearance is kind of hinted at because the girl that Nadeshiko takes the form of is from the same school as Meteor before he transfers to Asagawa in the show. Which they never show the actual girl in the show, even though we do see her in the movie. Anyway, yeah, this is why I just like, that's the bar. Ultimatum even does it, where it's just like, yeah, we build our big smosh fight scene, but we sell you on the fact that these are more than just suits punching each other. These are the actual characters, which this movie doesn't do, because it doesn't have the time or ability to even do it, because it's too big to do it. So yeah, this movie's bad. Don't go watch it. Anything you have to say?
No.
Well then. So we're past this trilogy of movies, which means we can now do whatever we want. And I say, you want to finish off Double?
Sure.
All right, so next week we will pick up where we left off on TGSR with Double, which, fuck, I don't remember the episodes.
I don't either.
But I think we'll pick up with them. I don't know how many episodes we're going to do at a time. Because
I feel like we probably should either do 2 like we were, or do 3.
Wouldn't 3 put us in the middle of a 2-parter?
Possibly.
Or like half the show. So I'm like, we either do 2 or 4, but 4 sounds like too many.
Maybe, maybe not, though.
I say we go 2 next week and see how that feels. And if it's too light, we'll go for the next week. That way we can at least feel out how a 2-parter in this format would feel.
Actually, probably 4 would be about on par. That'd be about the same runtime as what these movies have been.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, true. God, I have an itch to just like rewatch all of Double up to where we are. I am very tempted to do that, just being like, all right, let's just marathon through Double until we get to the point we are, and then I'll start taking notes on the 4 episodes we're watching. But yeah, we will finish off Double. I don't know if we're going to intersperse anything in between. We may have I don't know, how would you feel for a catch-up, like, proper episode on Geo?
I mean,
or
I guess we could.
Well, I don't know, like, we always talk about Geo, but I don't know if a sit down, like, 2-hour pure conversation about where Geo started, where it went, where it is now, would be anything you would be up to trying to do.
Maybe.
Yeah, because I'm also just like, that's a lot of bad to trudge back through. Like, try to remember trudging through, because I ain't rewatching all that. We are well past the point where I want to rewatch any bit of any bit of Geo for like proper notes. Because no, I'm good. The only thing I would want is to check that one thing about Gates's like henshin clock thing behind him. But yeah, that, or since Ryu Solger like debuts in like a month or so, once we get a couple episodes of that, pull you in, see how you feel about a new Sentai series. Especially since it may or may not be our last one for a few years, depending on how well it does. If rumors are to be believed, and I'm willing to believe them. because everything kind of points to it.
Yeah.
But I guess until then, we've got our usual stuff for this next week. Tetris 99 finale of Paper Mario, assumingly. Assuming I can beat it this week. I should. It shouldn't take me that long to get through the rest of Bowser's Castle and go beat Bowser. Mario Ocarina of Time, podcast Saturday. And we're back around from there. So, anything else?
I can't think of anything.
All right. So, see you next week, folks.